Welcome to Heartbreaker, your love radio. The bridal shop was enveloped in an air of expectation and joy as Emma, surrounded by mirrors, adjusted her veil in front of a smiling assistant. The fabric of the dress cascaded down, as immaculate as her dreams for the near future. Emma twirled, observing the fall of the lace, the subtle shimmer of the embroidered pearls. "It's perfect," she murmured, more to herself than to the assistant, who enthusiastically agreed. "I'll call Laura to see this, she needs to see how beautiful I look," said Emma, leaving the dressing room to fetch her best friend, who was also her maid of honor. What should have been a moment of female complicity quickly turned into disaster. Approaching the dressing room designated for Laura, Emma heard muffled laughter, a sound that did not match the usually restrained atmosphere of the bridal boutique. Pushing the door open without knocking, Emma was confronted with a scene that shattered her heart into irrecoverable fragments: Daniel and Laura, entwined in a passionate kiss. The silence that followed was piercing, marked only by the sound of their heavy breathing. Daniel?" Emma's voice was a mix of incredulity and pain. Laura pulled away, covering her mouth with her hands, her eyes wide with panic. Emma, this isn't what it looks like," Daniel began, trying to compose himself as he straightened his shirt. His voice trembled slightly, guilt evident on his face, even as he tried to formulate an excuse. "It's not what it looks like?" Emma repeated, the irony sharp in her voice. "Then please explain, because it looks like my fiancé is kissing my best friend in the dressing room of a bridal shop." Daniel stepped toward her, his hands extended in a gesture of peace that Emma refused to accept. "Emma, it was a mistake, a moment of madness. It means nothing." Nothing?" Emma laughed, a sound bitter and pained. How can you say that? How can you reduce our relationship to nothing so easily?" Laura, still silent, began to cry, but Emma barely noticed. Her attention was all on the man she thought she knew. "You've broken everything, Daniel. We're done." Emma, please," Daniel tried again, desperation coloring his words. "Think about everything we planned, our dreams." "In your dreams, Daniel, because clearly they did not include me. It's all over." Emma fired back, gathering her veil and leaving with wounded dignity. When she mentioned the possibility of canceling the wedding, Daniel reminded her of the investments her parents had made. "Your parents invested money in our wedding, do you think they will agree that this should not happen? Remember, I will be your husband in 2 days." But she was resolute. If necessary, she would marry a complete stranger just to avoid marrying Daniel. And so, she challenged herself and fate. She was willing to find anyone except Daniel. "If it takes marrying a complete stranger to avoid marrying you, so be it," she said. He didn't believe her. "Finding a groom on such short notice seems impossible, don't you think?" he said. "I will find someone soon." Thus, she was ready to marry the first stranger she met. Leaving the store, the fresh afternoon air was not enough to clear the inner turmoil. At that moment, the hasty decision to marry someone else was not just a challenge to fate but an escape from unbearable pain. With tears still fresh on her face, but a fierce resolution pulsing in her heart, Emma walked through the busy streets of the city. She barely noticed the passers-by who dodged her hurried path, lost in thoughts about what to do next. That's when she spotted Raj. He was standing near a street market, next to a cart filled with boxes of strawberries, the red fruits shining under the soft evening light. Raj seemed immersed in his work, carefully arranging the strawberries into attractive mounds. Emma approached, determination crystallizing a bold idea in her mind. She watched him for a moment, noticing the gentle way he handled each piece of fruit, a care that made her sigh unconsciously. Sorry to interrupt," she began, her voice steady despite the emotional chaos. "Are you single?" Raj looked up, surprised by the direct approach and the unexpected question. He smiled, a smile that revealed a row of white teeth contrasting with his tan skin. "Yes, single and no children. Can I help with something?" Emma took a deep breath, gathering all the courage she had. Would you like to make $50,000 quickly?" Raj's expression changed from surprise to interest. $50,000? Who wouldn't want that? "But what exactly would I need to do?" he asked, his curiosity clearly piqued. "It's simple. Marry me. Today." Emma couldn't help the tremor in her voice as she made the proposal. Raj laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. Seeing the seriousness in Emma's eyes, he set aside a box of strawberries and crossed his arms. Are you serious? Why would someone make such an offer? Because I cannot marry the man I'm engaged to. And I need to prove to him and to myself that I can move on without him. You would be helping me enormously, Emma explained, the sincerity in her words and the vulnerability in her eyes convincing Raj that she was telling the truth. Raj studied Emma for a long moment, weighing the consequences of such a spontaneous decision. Before we continue, I'm Raj, he said, extending his hand for a firm handshake. Emma, she responded, reciprocating the gesture. Oh well, Emma, Raj began, a spark of adventure in his eyes. I think today is a day for making bold decisions. Let's do this. Where do we need to go? Together, they headed towards the nearest city hall, Emma feeling a mix of relief and disbelief at having found someone willing to embark on this unusual journey with her. The city hall was a building of gray stones and tall windows that filtered the evening sunlight, casting elongated shadows across the marble floor. Emma and Raj, still strangers to each other, walked down an echoing corridor, their steps quick and determined. At a side counter, a clerk watched them with curiosity as they filled out the necessary paperwork, each line bringing them one step closer to an unexpected union. Are you sure about this? Raj asked softly, casting a worried look at Emma as they signed the papers. Completely, Emma replied with a firmness that tried to hide the bubbling nervousness inside. This is something I need to do. With the paperwork completed, they were led to a small room where a judge awaited them, his neutral expression briefly changing to surprise upon seeing the couple's unusual urgency. The judge asked some standard questions, his words echoing in the nearly empty room. Do you have the rings? The judge asked, following protocol. Raj and Emma exchanged looks, realizing they had forgotten a detail. Without missing a beat, Raj pulled a small hair elastic from his wrist and stretched it, slipping it onto Emma's finger. This will have to do for now, he said with an encouraging smile. Emma laughed, the tension momentarily broken by the improvised gesture. Perfect, she said, placing a paper clip on Raj's finger. However, the lightness of the moment was abruptly interrupted by the unexpected arrival of Daniel, who entered the room with an air of indignation. What do you think you were doing, Emma? He demanded to know, his eyes flashing with a possessiveness that Emma had never seen before. Daniel, this is none of your business, Emma responded firmly, feeling a surge of strength seeing Raj by her side. You are making a big mistake, Daniel continued, advancing towards Emma as if to intervene physically. That was when Raj stepped forward, positioning himself between Emma and Daniel. As she said, it's none of your business. It's better you leave, Raj said calmly, but with unwavering firmness. Daniel hesitated, clearly not expecting resistance. He looked from Raj to Emma, his face twisted with frustration. You're going to regret this, Emma, he said before turning and slamming the door. With Daniel finally out of the way, the judge proceeded with the ceremony. If there are no further interruptions, we shall continue, he said, casting a stern look at the closed door. Emma and Raj nodded, turning their attention back to each other. Emma, do you take this man to be your husband? The judge asked, his voice now gentle. Yes, I do, Emma replied, looking into Raj's eyes, finding there a surprising spark of camaraderie. And you, do you take this woman to be your wife? The judge turned to Raj. Yes, I do, said Raj, his decision clear in his voice. With simple words and improvised rings, Emma and Raj were declared husband and wife. The ceremony was brief but meaningful, marked by a sense of challenge and a new beginning. Together, they walked out of the City Hall building no longer as strangers, but as partners on a newly begun and uncertain journey. Emma's house, an elegant apartment on a quiet tree-lined street, seemed like a refuge far from the recent tumults of her life. However, as they approached, the abruptly parked car at the entrance already signaled that the night would not be peaceful. Raj, observing the scene cautiously, lightly held Emma's arm as if offering protection and support. As soon as they opened the door, they were confronted by the astonished look of Emma's parents and a visibly shaken Daniel. The air was charged with a mix of disbelief and disapproval. Emma, what have you done? Exclaimed her mother, rising quickly from the sofa. Her face expressed a combination of shock and concern. I got married, Mom, Emma replied, her voice firm, but her heart racing. She held Raj's hand, seeking in him the courage to face the situation. With a complete stranger? Emma, this is insane, her father intervened, his voice rising in frustration. Daniel, in the background, crossed his arms, a bitter expression of victory outlining his face. He's not a stranger, he's my husband, Emma corrected, the defensive clarity in her voice surprising even herself. Daniel stepped forward, trying to insert himself into the conversation. Emma, think about what you're doing. This is a huge mistake. You don't even know this guy. I know enough to prefer him over you, Emma retorted, her words slicing through the air with sharp precision. Raj remained by her side, his posture calm yet alert. Can we talk about this calmly? Suggested Emma's mother, her voice a plea to lower the arms. Please sit down. Let's try to understand what's happening here. Everyone settled down, a tense silence filling the room before Emma's father began to speak. Emma, we know what Daniel did was wrong, but marriage is a serious decision. You can't just annul it as if it were any contract. I'm not taking this lightly, Dad, Emma explained, the sincerity in her voice. But I can't marry someone who has betrayed me so cruelly. I chose to move forward in the only way I thought possible. Let's resolve this practically. Raj, right? Emma's father addressed Raj directly for the first time. We are willing to compensate you for the inconvenience. It will be better for everyone if this marriage is annulled. Raj looked to Emma, seeking her guidance before responding. I understand the situation, but the decision is hers. If Emma wants the marriage to continue, so it will. You don't understand the implications of this, Emma. You are risking your future, your financial security, intervened her mother, the fear evident in every word. The future is something I choose, and the security he cannot provide, I will find for myself or with Raj, Emma responded, the decisiveness in her voice making it clear there would be no room for further negotiation. The conversation continued, each word increasing the tension in the room until it finally became clear that Emma was resolute in her decision. With the arguments exhausted, Emma's parents backed down, not fully convinced, but resigned to their daughter's choice. I hope you know what you're doing, Emma, her father said, concern still marking his features as he and her mother left her house. Raj, now acknowledged, albeit reluctantly, as part of the family, turned to Emma. Are you okay? Emma, looking at her new husband, felt a mix of gratitude and renewal. Yes, more than I have been in a long time, she replied, ready to face the new realities of her life alongside Raj. The restaurant where Raj worked was a small establishment tucked away on a side street, far from the hustle and bustle of the city's major culinary hubs. As they approached, the aroma of spices and fresh herbs filled the air, a promise of authenticity and flavor. Raj opened the door for Emma with a gentle gesture, revealing a cozy interior lit by soft lights and decorated with hanging plants and local art on the walls. This is my sanctuary, Raj said, a proud smile forming on his face as he helped Emma settle at a table near the window. It's not much, but it's where I feel most at home. Emma looked around, impressed by the warm and inviting atmosphere of the place. It's beautiful, Raj. You can feel the passion in the air, she commented, her curiosity about Raj growing with every moment they spent together. Raj called a waiter and ordered 2 of his favorite dishes before turning back to Emma. I grew up in my grandfather's kitchen. He taught me that cooking is not just about feeding people, but about touching their hearts. As they talked, the food arrived, vibrant and colorful dishes that filled the table with colors and aromas. Raj explained each dish with contagious enthusiasm, sharing stories from his childhood and how each recipe had a special memory associated with it. Emma, tasting a piece of naan dipped in sauce, couldn't help but smile. This is incredible, Raj. I've never tasted anything like it. I'm glad you like it, Raj responded, watching her with a gentle expression. You know, it's not just in the restaurant that I invest my time. I also try to make a difference in the community, teaching cooking classes to children on weekends. Emma was touched by Raj's sincerity and his commitment to others. That's wonderful. It shows how caring you are, she said, her heart warming to the idea that there was much more to Raj than she initially thought. As the evening progressed, Raj shared more about his life, not just the joys, but also the challenges he had faced to get where he was. It wasn't easy, but each difficulty taught me something important about myself and about the world around me, he confessed, his eyes reflecting a depth that Emma found increasingly attractive. You are an incredible person, Raj. I admire so much what you've built here, Emma said, feeling a genuine connection growing between them, something she hadn't expected, but now deeply valued. I just hope to share this with someone who understands and appreciates the little things in life, Raj responded, his gaze meeting hers, filled with cautious hope. Emma, feeling surprisingly comfortable and at home in Raj's presence, began to reconsider not only her recent decisions but also what she wanted for her future. After hours of conversation and sharing, Emma and Raj found themselves wrapped in an unexpected emotional intimacy. Sitting side by side, their hands occasionally touched, conveying comfort and a curious electricity. Finally, under the cloak of a starry night and to the soft sound of the restaurant's background music, Raj turned to Emma with a look of tenderness. Hey Emma, I don't know what the future holds for us, but I want to find out, with you, he said, the sincerity of his words clear and vibrant. Moved by a surge of emotion, Emma leaned in and, without hesitation, their lips met in a shy but meaningful kiss. For a moment, everything around seemed to fade away, leaving just the two of them, connected by the mutual recognition of something potentially transformative. However, shortly after that moment of connection, Raj looked at his watch and his expression changed. Emma, I need to take care of something important. I promise I'll be back soon, he said hurriedly, the urgency in his voice pulling Emma out of the magical moment. Raj, wait. What happened? Emma asked, confused by the sudden change. It's something I can't delay. Please trust me, Raj pleaded before rushing out of the restaurant, leaving Emma alone with her thoughts and a heart heavy with uncertainties. That night, as Emma tried to make sense of the day's events, Daniel appeared unexpectedly at the restaurant. He looked remorseful and carried a bouquet of flowers, his presence a somber reminder of the recent past. Emma, I knew you were here. We need to talk, Daniel insisted, placing the flowers on the table dramatically. Daniel, there's nothing more to discuss, Emma responded firmly, still feeling the echo of the kiss with Raj. I know I've made mistakes, but I still love you. We can fix this. Let's forget everything and start over, Daniel argued, his voice filled with calculated desperation. Emma shook her head, her determination strengthening within her. No, Daniel. What you did, it showed me who you really are. I can't and don't want to go back to that. Then Daniel tried to turn Emma's head against Raj, saying that he wouldn't come back, that he should be spending the easy money he had earned on other women. And then she began to doubt. Can I really trust Raj? Is he gone forever? Let's go home. You don't belong here. Get in the car. Hurry up, Emma, Daniel said. Before more words could be exchanged, Raj returned to the restaurant, a small box in his hands. His face was lit up with a radiant smile and he approached Emma, completely ignoring Daniel's presence. I thought you had left. Where were you, Raj? She said. Hey Emma, sorry for the delay. I wanted to do this right, Raj began, opening the box to reveal a stunning diamond ring. I couldn't afford something like this before, but here it is. I want you to know that, no matter your decision, I will be here. For you. Emma, moved and surprised, looked at Raj and then at the ring. Raj, this is incredible. But why? Because I believe in us, even though US has only started a short time ago. And because, regardless of everything, I want you to be my partner, not just on paper, Raj explained, his eyes shining with sincerity and hope. Daniel, realizing he had lost any chance, said, a diamond? He must have stolen it. Where else would he get the money? I'm not a thief. And get out of here, Raj said. Emma took the ring, contemplating it under the soft light. She then looked at Raj, her heart finally clear. Yes, Raj. Yes, I want to discover our future together. That night, not only was Raj's absence explained, but a revelation about Raj was also uncovered. Emma, I never wanted my position to influence your decision to be with me. I wanted you to see me as Raj, not as the owner of a restaurant or any title that might imply, said Raj, his voice filled with palpable sincerity. Emma looked at Raj, her thoughts still processing the revelations. Raj, all this it's a lot to process. But I see your truth, your honesty. That means more to me than anything. Outside, Daniel, unable to accept the situation, cast furious glances in their direction. Unable to contain himself, he tried to intervene again, his expression distorted by anger and frustration. Emma, are you really going to believe this? Do you think someone like him, whom you barely know, can offer something real? This is madness, Daniel blurted out, despair coloring his words. Raj, maintaining his composure, confronted Daniel without hesitation. Emma has made her choice. And it's not up to you to question it. You should respect her decision. Respect? How can I respect a decision based on illusions? Daniel retorted, clearly struggling to maintain control. These are not illusions, Daniel. It's the reality you refuse to accept. I chose Raj, I chose the truth and the respect he offers me, something you could never give me, Emma responded, her voice growing in strength and conviction. Daniel, seeing that his attempts to persuade Emma were futile, finally conceded, his defeat evident in every line of his body as he walked away and left the restaurant, leaving a tense silence behind him. Raj, looking at Emma, reached out, gently holding her hand. I will be by your side, Emma, at every step, every decision. Together, we can face whatever comes. Emma, holding the ring between her fingers, felt a wave of emotion. The weight of her decisions, the pain of past betrayals, and the hope for a new beginning with Raj intertwined in her heart. I am ready, Raj. Ready to start a new life, a true life with you, she said, sliding the ring on her finger. The restaurant, once a mere workplace for Raj, had become the setting for a new chapter for both of them. As they embraced, Emma knew she had made the right choice. Through shared honesty and vulnerability, she and Raj had discovered something rare and true. Together, they were ready to navigate the uncertainties of the future, strengthened by the love and freedom they had chosen.